If you're not sure how to get started today, or maybe you are trying this work and it's not really leading you anywhere, or maybe you have a lot of ideas about your character, but none of them have really stuck with you across the story or feel like they could, this might be the tip for you. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I look over a lot of random feeling jobs and then plot them across a timeline to figure out what is the big idea that I could go with. So for instance, yesterday in the read aloud, you saw either me or Sonia collect some traits, some ideas I have about the character. Maybe right now you look at what you jotted about your character in your book for the first time. Maybe you're just looking at your Google Keeps. Maybe you're just pulling out some of the post-its that are in your book. Just look at them. Just think about, maybe, especially if before you pull those out, by the way, make sure you have the page numbers on them so you know where they go. Okay, so let's say I'm looking at some of these jobs. I don't know where to get started. I'm just gonna draw a timeline. And I'm just gonna start to plot out some points, blank points, and think about like what happened in the story according to what I thought. So, okay, in the beginning, let's see what makes sense. My first thought was that he was just being really, really bitter towards everything, sarcastic. And then this made me think, and also, by the way, as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking like maybe I want to revise some of these, or maybe some of them don't work anymore, so I just don't put them on my timeline. Fine. What was I thinking next? What makes sense that I could pull from this collection here onto my timeline? Well, he's being bitter and sarcastic. I think that's the thing that makes, I had a bunch of ideas like mean and caring and this stuff, but I kind of feel like I don't want to save that because the next big thing I can commit to is that he was pretty jealous. That came through, once I reread it, it came through pretty clearly. Then I saw that he was determined to get what he wanted. Maybe then when I read on, which I'm not going to give so much away yet, I started to see that sometimes what he wants gets the best of him and makes him act kind of mean and caring, which reveals that maybe deep down he's deeply unhappy, insecure. Ooh, now can I maybe make a sentence or write a paragraph in the air about this? Let me try it. In the story, Popular, the character Will seems like he's really bitter and sarcastic in the beginning of the story because he talks badly about everyone, even his own friends. But then we quickly learn that he's actually really jealous of the Popular kids because they just seem like they're having more fun than he is. And he's really determined to make himself popular. So he sets out on a mission to do so at whatever cost. And sometimes, or what we see, I'm not going to give it away, what we see in the story is that he is willing to kind of put other people down to get what he wants, which reveals that really Will is a deeply unhappy character that is insecure about who he is and doesn't really know how to find value in his life without the acceptance of others. Whoa, you see I just talked across my timeline? So let me back up and tell you what you can do. If you feel like you don't know where to start, you don't have any ideas that feel like they're worth throwing, just grab your ideas, pull them out of your book. Remember, number those first. Pull them out of your book. Look at your Google Keep on your screen, a bunch of different ideas. Draw a timeline, and then start to slowly select them and put them onto your timeline. You might have to leave some out. That means you're just revising as you go. And then when you have a couple in a row, a few in a row, see if you can maybe make a big statement. Maybe write a paragraph in the air. Try it out. Move them around. Use some Post-its. Use a Google Docs. You can erase stuff. Great. The point is that coming up with ideas, developing big ideas for the text can look a few different ways. It doesn't have to just be rereading, writing. It can sometimes be manipulating, plotting on a timeline. It can sometimes also be sorting. Maybe you're taking these and you're sorting into groups. Like maybe this, again, these things feel important, these things feel less important. They can figure out what exactly should you be focusing on. That's fine. Whatever you feel like makes sense for you, try it. That's the way that you need to get started because that's the way that's going to inspire you to grow your ideas even bigger. Good luck. I can't wait to see the creative stuff that you come up with.